Hello, everyone. How's it going? My name is Sirui Ma, and today I'll be giving you a little overview of my work and focusing on my debut book. So, photography has always been in my life. Born to journalist parents, photography was always within my reach, and it was a means for my parents to share their travels and experiences with me. These were some of my earliest photos that I took of my friends. Having lived quite a transient life, moving from Beijing to London, back to Beijing, then to New York, then to London again, photography also became a way I could see and move through the world. In my practice, it's always a priority to me to tell and amplify stories that are real and relatable. Even when it's a commercial job, I'm still aiming to create images that are people-centered, and whatever product I'm shooting can become a supplement to that person's story. I take great pleasure in noticing small moments of beauty in everyday life and sharing that with others through my work. In 2017, I moved to London again from New York City. They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. I've never felt more like a New Yorker than after I left. In fact, most of my projects about New York came to life after I stopped living there. And this was the case, and the reason that sparked my idea for my book, Subway Portraits, and this is the cover of the book. As a public school kid in Queens, the subway was a gateway to the world for me. I've always loved public transit and how it keeps a city connected. It's the veins of the city. And this is a little excerpt from my book. I have long admired the energy and style of subway conductors. There is a sense of beauty in their solitude, the way they keep the city moving, the way they quite literally look after the passengers on the subway. Their uniforms also intrigued me in the way that each person made the same garments unique by adding their personal touch. A pair of goggles, a hat, patterned gloves, or earplugs of a certain color. The conductors never looked the same as one another, and this is the beauty of uniforms to me. So I would often ride the subway by myself, and whenever I would disembark the train, I would wave to them, and they would often smile and wave back. In total honesty, it took a few years of thinking about this project before I finally plucked up the courage to go out and shoot the bulk of this project on June 2nd, 2023. I was overthinking the element of talking to strangers for this shoot, but when I went out and did it, it felt fine, and even the rejections I realized weren't personal. I also wrote my contact information on pieces of paper and cut it up so that I could hand it to them in case they wanted to receive the pictures at the end. The shoot concept is simple: photographing subway conductors on my medium format with a flash mounted. In the brief moments, they were stopped at whatever station I was standing and waiting at, capturing their style and personality. I stationed myself at 4 different stops throughout a period of a day, and after shooting in the subway for a full day, I ended up with 100 images and printed all the ones I liked from it. It felt substantial enough for a series. I wanted it to end up as a book, but I knew that I wanted this project to become richer than that. This was when I pitched the project to my good friend Eli Rosenblum for him to design and edit the book with me. Shout out to Eli, who is in New York. Over the period of about another year, Eli and I spent countless hours voice noting, Zooming, emailing, meeting the printers to bring the book to life. I sought contributions from friends in the form of artwork and writings. When I chased up 3 of the subway conductors who reached out to me to receive their portrait, only one of them was responsive, and our conversation also ended up in the book. It was a different window into the life of a subway conductor. Once we had a substantial amount of content for the book, we decided it was best for me to work with Eli in person for a week to really speed things up. So in May, I went to New York for a week, and we worked on the design and formatting of the book. It was important for me for the book to reflect the analog nature of my practice, as well as it containing my personal touch in the form of handwriting. I print all my work by hand in the darkroom and always hang on to test strips for no apparent reason when most people throw them out. And this book is the first instance where test strips have been used for anything besides bookmarks. It was also for this reason that we spent months working on a section of the book dedicated to all the pictures I had ever taken on the subway, ever since I had a camera phone or when I used an iPod Touch as a phone. I spent weeks going through different hard drives, singling out any images that I had ever taken in the subway system, cataloging them chronologically and by device. It was important for me to illustrate a sense of life in the book and in my experience as a subway rider over the years. At first, we attempted a huge grid of all the photos I compiled, which was somewhere around 1,000 images. But I felt that they would be stronger if I were able to connect the different images over time. I created 40 different pages of different categories of these phone pictures: body language between loved ones, performances, graphic t-shirts, adverts, my outfits, other people's outfits. We received the unbound dummy of the book a week ago, and the book Subway Portraits will be released towards the end of this month. Through the experience of working on this book for a total of about 2.5 years from conception to delivery, I really learned the power and importance of choosing the right people to collaborate with, to allow yourself to take your time, but also to set yourself deadlines. There was so much about publishing that I didn't know before this, which intimidated me a lot. It felt like a baptism of fire at many points. Mistakes were made, corrected, then more discovered. You can be precious about it and let the editing take forever, but the most important thing is to just dive into it and relinquish control. Thank you.